Even those of us who believe we have at least passing knowledge of significant events of our past can come across stories that still shock and amaze us. The events described in David Zucchino's new book make up such a story. In Wilmington's Lies, Zucchino brings a lost history to the surface. When one hears what happened in Wilmington in November 1898, the first reaction is, how did I not know about this? After disrupting an election, armed men swept through the city and killed at least 60 people. Over the next few months, more than 2,000 African Americans fled and never returned to their homes. White supremacists took over the local government, and a city that had had a burgeoning African American middle class, whose members were active participants in civic life, was changed forever. In a recent NPR interview, David Zucchino called what happened in Wilmington, North Carolina in 1898 America's first and only armed overthrow of a legally elected government. He added that it was not a race riot, it was a coup, and it was premeditated. The facts of the story need no embellishment. In the New York Times, reviewer Eddie Gauld said, Zucchino's moral judgment stands at a distance. He simply describes what happened and the lies told to justify it all. In short, he calls Wilmington's Lie a brilliant new book. David Zucchino is a contributing writer for the New York Times and a former national correspondent for the Los Angeles Times. Before moving to the LA Times, he worked for 20 years at the Philadelphia Inquirer as the bureau chief in Beirut, Nairobi, and Johannesburg. He was awarded the Pulitzer Prize in reporting for South Africa and is a four-time Pulitzer Prize finalist for coverage of Iraq, Lebanon, Africa, and inner city Philadelphia. He's the author of the books Thunder Run and Myth of the Welfare Queen. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome David Zucchino.
Thank you, David. Thanks, everyone, for coming out. I was a little worried about the turnout today, first of all, with the nice weather, people recovering from the Super Bowl, the Iowa caucuses, and impeachment, but thank you, here we are. I like to start out talks usually by asking people in the audience how many of you had ever heard about the events in this book before you came across the book. Quite a few, that's great. Educated audience. Usually when I go around, particularly around the country, I can't find anyone who's ever heard of it. Even in North Carolina, I can't find people who've heard of it. And I have to admit, I had never heard of this until about 20 years ago. And I went to high school and college in North Carolina and never heard once from a professor or a teacher about this event, and certainly didn't read it in the history books. I was a freshman many, many years ago at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and I was assigned to a dorm called Morrison Dorm. I had no idea who Morrison was. Somebody said he was a governor. Years later, as I'm researching this book, I find out he's a character in the book. He was one of the leading speakers during the white supremacy campaign of 1898 that led up to the coup and the massacre. When I went to football games on campus, I went to Kenan Stadium. Again, I didn't really know or care who Kenan was. While I'm researching this book, I find out he was William Buck Kenan. He was the commander of a gun crew that went through the city on the day of the coup, shooting down black men. When I graduated from journalism school, my first job was at the News and Observer newspaper, which is in the capital city in Raleigh. And it was founded by a man named Josephus Daniels. And while I worked at the paper, there were all these tributes to Josephus in the newsroom as this great journalist, and he was a diplomat. He had been Secretary of the Navy, this just wonderful crusading journalist. No one in the 5 years I worked there ever mentioned that he was the leader of the white supremacy campaign in 1898, led the propaganda campaign for it. In fact, today, if you go on the UNC campus, the student stores are named the Josephus Daniels Student Stores. According to the student newspaper, there are almost 30 buildings on the UNC campus that are named for white supremacists, and many of these people were active in this campaign in 1898. And
Just want to stop it right there. I want to start out by saying this is your brother Quadar Bun. I want to give all praise and honor and glory bestowed and given unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Raha Quadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, men who have labored and suffered in this truth for over 30 plus years, bringing forth this 100% truth, making their lives and their bodies a living sacrifice. I also would like to say shalom to the various GMS camps, brothers who have come up under the tutelage and have learned from the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are out on our highways and hedges week in and week out, lesson after lesson, do diligently, sincerely, bringing forth this 100% truth. I also like to say shalom to the various brothers that are out on the highways and hedges, not named GMS, but sincerely bring forth this 100% truth taught to them by the elders of Great Millstone, and the hopeful elect. To you I say shalom. Just a quick side note right here. I'm going to bring out a few precepts, but I just want to speak on this. This man said he grew up in North Carolina. And as you can see, he's an aged Esau, And he said that he was asking the audience, did any of them know of this history that he's bringing out in that book, Wilmington's Lie, the murderous coup of 1898. And from his observation, there must have been more than a handful that had heard of it. But getting back to him, he had never heard of that. And as his tenure through college and high school and college in that order, he would hear about these so-called great men that certain buildings or, dorm buildings were named after or stadiums that were named after, and how throughout his research, he found out that these same men were co-conspirators, because it's not a conspiracy, but I'm just going to use that word. They were intricate to the coup. And Esau Edom, so-called white man, he likes to suppress, evidence, in the court of public opinion, this man likes to suppress the evidence. You understand? This is his whole MO. Suppressing evidence. You go into the courtroom and whatnot. There have been jakes that matter of fact, I was listening to the apostles and the elders, and they were talking about Judge Joe Brown, how when he was a young judge, how he helped a 15-year-old Jake get off of death row, who only had a few weeks left, till his execution, but he helped him get off of death row because he had not committed that crime. And in a lot of cases, you find that Jake has not committed that crime. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. But the point is that there was evidence suppressed in that case that Judge Joe Brown had brung forth to bring back that appeal. You always get an appeal when you be convicted of something. You know what I'm talking about? So he stayed a state of execution on that young Jake and got him off. And this right here, by checking this man's track record, you find that this man has a closet full of suppressing the evidence type of ordeal. You understand what I'm saying? This is his MO. But I'm not going to ramble because I'm going to let this clip play and a few more clips, and I'm going to bring out some precepts.
I bring this up just to make the point that this really is an ancient history. I mean, it's about right now. That legacy is alive right now on the campus of the University of North Carolina. And in fact, I realized as I was researching this book that this story has been following me around for most of my adult life, and I finally got around to writing it. Now, the people who have read this book, as David mentioned, have two reactions. One is, how could I possibly not know about this? And two, how could this happen in the United States of America? And my answer in the book is that this was really a forgotten and buried chapter, not only of North Carolina history, but of American history, that was really covered up and mischaracterized for more than a century. And these events happened at a time when white supremacy essentially went unchallenged right up to the White House, as you'll find if you read the book.
Salakia Akim. I was trying to pull up a documentary dealing with that Tulsa. Let's see. Let's see if it'll pull up here. With that Tulsa, Oklahoma race ride from. And they're about to do a documentary on that. I believe Apostle Tahar said that, what's that basketball player name? LeBron James. He foot the bill for this documentary. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow, given what Salaki movie is playing. Salakia. Oh, what a value. Okay. Salakia for that Aki.
Why is it that the cranes that are going up all around this community, we don't own it? We're not building. Why is it that there's a blight study? Why is it that there's policies like eminent domain pushing black people out of their communities?
Past 36th Street, they don't care about us. And you could go around and say,
they have to remember when they're coming to visit that the survivors never received any type of reparations. We still have much lack in North Tulsa. So I hope when they come to visit that they just don't stop at the corner block of Greenwood and Archer, but they begin to move further north and begin to patronize black African American businesses in North Tulsa.
we're not really welcome in Greenwood anymore. All that is a tourist attraction, just using the name. And that really disturbs me when they use that name like that. We don't own that anymore. I'm sorry to tell you that. Black Wall Street is in us.
Of course you don't own this anymore, you know. But you know, this is like I said, this is man MO, man. He just go about, stamping and stomping people out, and then, his main motto is, forget about it, Don't worry about that. That was history, That's a push now where they're trying to remove the history from the history of slavery from history books. Mainly it's being enacted in the state of Texas, But the Most High is flaming up the flames. This is Most High doing this. This is His doing, All these old memories, these hurt events and whatnot, you dig? The Most High is flaming that up. He's instigating this, Getting Jake ready for the battle. Because these people have to be punished, They have to be punished. And Esau, with his suppression of, he likes to suppress the evidence, that will convict him. This is this man's MO. I want to get a few precepts, and I'm gonna close out because just spur of the moment. Something. It was not thought through, rather prepared. I'm just doing this off the wing of the spirit. And let's see. I'm gonna grab a few precepts, show you that this is this man's MO, man. This is what he do. This is what he was signed up to do. He can't help it in the spirit. That's what he signed up to do. And it's sad that we, the hopeful elect, the men of the Lord, trying to bring forth these facts and whatnot, and you've been demonized and strikes being put up and warnings and whatnot. You have to tiptoe with your language and whatnot. Man, this is going to show you, man, the people who commit these things, they're softer than toilet paper, man. Softer than toilet paper. But let's get this right here. This is Micah chapter 2, started at the top, and it reads, "Woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands." You understand? It is in the power of their hands. They own the financial stake of the planet. They have robbed and pillaged and also taken custodianship of all the resources on the planet. You understand? They control the media on this planet. You know what I'm talking about? Pursuant to Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. They cover the faces of the judges. If not him, who? Then who? If it's not this white man, who else got the power to do this? You understand? Verse 2, "They covet fields and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage." And we see evidence of that, man, with those so-called small hats over there in Israel, land of Israel, those Jewish people claiming to be the people of the Lord. But they have to defend themselves from rocket attacks all day, every day. Pushing out propaganda, talking about beefing with everybody, all their neighbors. Come on, man. Let's keep it moving. Verse 3, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, against his family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil." And whenever you speak of these things, talking about they want to, they especially when you speak of slavery, times of old, talking about when it was just outright slavery, when just like he said back then, when they could just outright just wear their feelings on their shoulders, what I'm talking about? They speak haughtily of that, when you bring that up, all this, that, and the third. We ain't gonna get into all of that, what I'm talking about? But I want to pull out a few precepts to back up what I just pull out. And I'm going to go right into the book of Isaiah, because I'm pressed for time. Always the case when you're dealing with Esau's technology. And this is Isaiah, bagging up what I just brung out. This is Isaiah chapter 5. Salakia, chapter 5 and verse, we're going to start at verse 7. We're going to start at verse 7, and it reads, "For the vineyard of the Lord Yahweh of hosts is in the house of Israel." That remnant. You understand? That remnant. Like that remnant. Akim. That 1/3. Salakia for the mishaps. That 1/3 of the house of Israel. Not the 2/3. "And the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but behold oppression. For righteousness, but behold a cry." Verse 8, and it's the point. It says, "Woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth." I'm going to pull one more right there, because I feel as though that right there really did solidify. I'm going to pull this one right here. I had another one. And it's going to be in the book of Job. Chapter 20. In the book of Job. Yeah, we're going to go straight to the point. Because this man got to pay for all this wickedness, this ill will. And this is this is Book of Job, verse 20, chapter 20, verse 18 and 19. It says, that which he labored for shall he restore. He going to repay. He going to have to pay for all that. You know? This man got to pay for all that. Because unbeknownst to the majority of Jake may know this, that we built this place. You understand? And that's how this country got so high on the horse as far as finances, you understand? Because the labor wasn't paid for, you know what I'm talking about? They weren't paying us, you know, sharecropping and all that old crap, you know what I'm talking about? They was all kind of tricks and little slip-ups and snares that Esau was putting in the paperwork as, you know what I'm saying, as our time of being in slavery, chattel slavery was coming to an end. It says, that which he labored shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restoration be, and he shall not rejoice therein. Verse 19, because he had oppressed and had forsaken the poor, because he had violently taken away a house which he builded not. This man got to pay, man. You know, all this revised history. He can hide the evidence for so long, but now this through by way of the internet that the Most High set up. Now, he set this up. All this is coming to the forefront. All of this is coming to the forefront. Let's grab another one. Let's grab another one. Just to back that up. And this is Jeremiah 22:17. And it reads, which said unto God, depart from us. And what can the Almighty do for them? Salakia, that was wrong. I didn't have the right precept. Salakia. Actually, it was in the book of Isaiah. That was for another little something I got set up. So Salakia on that. Let's see. This is Isaiah chapter 56. Isaiah chapter 56, and I'm gonna read verse 10 and this is verses 10 and 11. Just straight to the point. This is Isaiah 56, verse 10 and 11. It reads, his watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs that cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. And ultimately, this is talking about Israel, but this can be put on the backs of Esau, Edom, because the nation of Esau, Edom is going to have to drink double of that cup. Verse 11, yea, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough. These people could never have enough, you know, because that ride on Tulsa was set forth by a false pretense. I believe it was in the elevator. One of this Jake supposedly whistled or made a move at one of those so-called Esau women. It's always the case. But lo and behold, you living next door to this man. This man always trying to figure out a way to take you down. He just need the excuse. Whether it be a lie or the truth, and more than many, it's always a lie. Let's keep going. Yea, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, every one of his own slacker, everyone for his gain, for his quarter. This man here, that's all he thinks about. Him. That's it. But you know what? We're gonna roll on. We're gonna keep it rolling. We got another. We're gonna pull out here. This is Isaiah 47, and this is what's gonna happen to Esau ultimately. This is Isaiah 47 and verse 1. Just coming from the top, it says, "Come down, sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." That's so-called America. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Because when the Most High sent his son, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua back here, man, look at man, this place going to be set ablaze, man. You know what I'm saying? All this running around and rape, robbing, and it's taking and then suppressing the evidence, man. This man going to get dealt with, man, violently. Take the millstone and grind the mill. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the legs, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, the shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance. I will not meet thee as a man. Huh? You heard that? He said he uncovered the naked. This is part of that uncovering right now. 100 years later. You know what I'm talking about? Where he done suppressed the evidence. You know what I'm talking about? But he's in the court of public opinion right now. And the Lord got him on trial. Let's keep it moving. Verse 4. As for our Redeemer, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. And he coming back to set all this straight, man. That's what's about to happen. He coming back to set this straight. We're gonna put one more precept in there. Because we press for time. Yeah, but the Lord coming back to set this straight, man. You know. And he the only one can set this straight. Let's keep it 100. And this is Psalms 137 and verse 7, and it reads, Remember, O Lord, Yahweh, thy power, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who say, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. These were the people who burnt down the temple. They're burning down these towns, they doing the same thing. Here it is, present day, these them same people, man, them same folks. They can't get away from it. That's why they want to suppress the evidence. Verse 8, O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed, happy shall they be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Verse 9, happy shall he be that taketh and dashes thy little ones against the stone. You know what I'm talking about? Because he regarded not the young or the old. You think when Esau went through them towns, burning them down and whatnot, he was like, oh, hold on, them little children right there, we're going to let them make it. No, that man wasn't concerned with none of that, man. When he went to Birmingham and bombed that church, there were 4 little girls that he killed in that basement, whatnot. They don't care. These folks don't care, man, barbaric. Let's just call it what it is. Let's get this right here. This Psalms, what it is. Let's get Psalms chapter 74. We're going to keep rocking in the spirit here. That's Psalms chapter 74 and verse 7 and 8. They have cast fire into the sanctuary. They have defiled by casting down the dwelling place of thy name to the ground. That's the temple. They said in their hearts, let us destroy them together. They have burned up all the synagogues of God in the land. That's these same people. Them same people in Psalms 83. You know, let's make a tumult with the rest of these heathens, and let's keep these people from coming up. Let's keep them from coming up. Let's get one more. Psalms. Let's make it quick here. Let's get it. Psalms 94. Psalms 94. And we're gonna start at verse 4, and it reads, How long shall they utter and speak hard things, and all the workers of iniquity boast themselves? You understand? Running around here bragging and postcards, y'all. You see the book, that book? I got a book here called Without Sanctuary. They used to send postcards to one another. They brag and boast about these things. You understand? Verse 5, they break in pieces thy people, O Lord Yahweh, and afflict thy heritage. Verse 6, they slay the widow and the stranger and murder the fatherless. It's these folks. Go look at the documentary. Look at the documentary. And this is a track record of this man's history. We're going to grab one more. Let's see. Let's get to the top. It says, O Lord, Yahweh, thy power, to whom vengeance belongeth. O power, to whom vengeance belongeth, shew it thyself. Verse 2, lift up thyself, thou judge of the earth, render a reward to the proud. And that's reminiscent of Revelation, I'm paraphrasing, 22 and 11. And the Lord said he's going to come back and he's going to have his reward in his hand for the works of every man. It says, verse 3, Lord, how long shall the wicked triumph? Verse 4, how long shall they utter and speak harsh things? Workers of iniquity boast themselves. Salakia. They break in pieces thy people, O Lord Yahweh, and afflict thy heritage. Verse 6, they slay the widow and the stranger and the fatherless. These people right here have no regard whatsoever. And we're going to end it out right here with Galatians. We're going to end it up with Galatians. Let's get it. Galatians 6. And it's an oldie but goodie. And it says, this is Galatians 6 verse 7. And it says, be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that he also reap. Verse 8. He that soweth to his flesh shall to the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. But because just check the man's track record out, and what he has sown in the world, he gonna get it back double. And with that, I want to say, all praise and honor and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and to the hopeful elect, Shalom.